Would you put your child in this?
If you don't get up off that couch and hold your dadgum baby, what are we doing?
Welcome back to Eat, Sleep, Nerd. We have emerged from a long winter break and are ready to get back to nerding out together for the first time here in the new year. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and in this episode, we are going back to our roots because we are going to be having a good old-fashioned nerdy news temp check. We'll be discussing some of the tech and invention highlights that were unveiled at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. We'll also be talking about the newly announced Mandalorian and Grogu Star Wars movie, NASA delaying its return trips to the moon, the Netflix Marvel shows now being considered canon, and possibly even more. But first, I want to check in with my geeky friends. We're missing a couple of our nerdy hosts for this episode, but joining me today are Nick, Christian, and Jason. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
A bit chilly.
Yeah, so we're doing something brand new for this show. We're all remote for the first time ever.
Welcome to my world.
Nick, yeah, Christian, Nick, how's it feel to be not here? I miss you.
Comfortable.
Oh, wow. You're not comfortable here? What?
It is a little cramped in there.
Yeah.
Get a little hot in that room.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all snowed in. We're in Alabama. If it even just thinks about snowing, we all stay home. So that's what's happening right now. So
yeah, our state rather
as the school teacher on the panel there, they have shut down school until Wednesday. Until can I give away the date? Today's date? Can I do that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So it's the what is today's date? It's Martin Luther King Day.
The 15th of January, Monday.
And we are out of school until, I guess, what is that? The 17th, the 18th. We come back to school on the 18th.
Okay.
So, it snowed last night, and then it snowed all day today. No, sorry. It sleeted last night. Like it rained last night. Then a layer of snow on top of that. And then it rained again here where I am. And then it snowed all day. Mm-hmm. And now it just started sleeting again. It's bouncing up against the window. And then it's going to drop to like 2 degrees. So, and then it's not going to get above freezing until like late Wednesday. So all of this is just going to be on the ground for a couple days. So they shut everything down. Yeah.
Yeah, they preemptively shut down for at least 2 more days.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute.
Jason, you're used to this stuff by now, I bet. You're up north.
Yeah, it's 0 degrees
Canada.
Right now. It was -9 yesterday.
Jesus.
I spent 20 minutes going in and out of the house yesterday, chopping off 2 inches of ice off my windshield. So, and it was like the frostbite warning is like 10 minutes. So,
oh God,
I'd chisel away for about 3 minutes and then go inside when I can't feel anything anymore. And then I did that about 5 times. And then I could get to my car.
My goodness.
No, I had to drive home from Tennessee about an hour and a half as the sleet storm was moving in. It was like frosting and like icing up on my windshield as I was driving. That was terrifying.
But isn't that trip to Tennessee worth it?
Yeah. But
yeah.
But so my car has like that autopilot ProPilot thing, like it'll steer for you. Wow. And it turned off because the camera got icy. So it was a fun little drive. Yeah, very good. Like my windshield wipers got iced over.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked in who knows how long. Like it's been at least 3 weeks
before Christmas.
Maybe 4. Yeah, it's been a minute. We were planning to get back to this at least a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago,
right.
But schedules and all that stuff. People have been sick. So what have you guys been nerding out on? Anything new since we last talked? All right.
Actually, I've had a few inquiries that were outside like the wedding space. Mm-hmm. Actually, I got an inquiry for to do the media day for the Chattanooga FC.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, because I had an interest in like sports photography and being like a pro sports photographer and stuff like that.
Cool.
So that's been really interesting to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
How did you make a contact with? Like, how'd that come about?
They reached out to me on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Oh, neat.
So it's good to have your Instagram and stuff like that updated and current.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
In which I was just thinking about, like, it's been a minute since I've posted anything because my schedule last year, like the later part of last year, wasn't as filled.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, interesting that they actually found me,
Yeah.
They clearly really wanted to find you, so that's good.
Yeah, so I'll take that W.
Good. What about you, Jason?
Let's see. So I had a little bit of like excitement last week. I got asked to audition for a movie. Is an independent horror film. And it seemed really cool. And it was one of the leads. Of course, a cop, because that seems to be like my role for a lot of things.
I mean,
so
hey,
anyway,
it worked for Bruce Willis.
I mean, sure. What?
What?
No, he's more of a Resident Johnson.
Yeah. Bruce Willis always played a cop.
Yeah.
Oh.
He threw a police car at a helicopter once. Like,
But so that was fun, and I sent my audition tape in, and then I did not get it. But that was okay. It was a little fun, and I did talk to the director afterwards, and they, we corresponded a little bit about what I could have done better, and things like that. So that was really cool. Good learning experience.
I was going to say, you put yourself out there.
Yeah, and it definitely kind of rekindled that fire to really start looking for stuff just outside theater right now. So
yeah,
and I'm pretty close to Chicago. I should probably make use of that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Go audition for Blue Man Group. You'll be a shoe-in.
Why? I'm not bald.
I was joking.
I also don't know how to play percussion.
They're really like
I mean, it sounds fun, but I'm blued up. No, wait, wrong thing. Okay.
Yeah, they're French.
I thought they were Italian.
They're French.
I thought they're Italian. Are they Italian? They're Italian.
What?
Anyway, what else?
Please move
on. I finished some video games. I don't know.
Are you going to tell us
it's
which
just
ones?
like all running together. I started playing that damn for Outer Worlds again.
Oh my god. Where's it? Outer Wilds?
No, shut up. And it's a lot like Firefly. Anyway, so yeah.
Wow.
That's all I got.
It's
been a lot of work.
cool.
Nick?
So not a lot of nerdy things, I guess, per se. Mine have all,
Come on,
I'm
guys.
getting there. Mine have been like health related. So ever since I got my high blood pressure diagnosis back in October, I think it was, I've been like, ooh, I need to get my health together because, I want to be here, and live, and see the things that I've been working so hard on. And like that made me super anxious. And so I got diagnosed with anxiety disorder. So now I'm taking medicine for that. I am much better. Much better. I don't have the feeling of dread like I used to.
It's good.
I feel like I'm doing a lot better as a person. I'm not. I've learned to just trust my doctors because like how it got it got to this point. It got so bad to where I would just start thinking like, well, what if they're lying to me? Like, well, like what if they don't know me? But like I would think like that's how my brain would work. Like,
wow.
they're lying to me. Like I actually do have, cholesterol over, like I'm going to die tomorrow because the doctor is lying to me. So like that's what I would think with the anxiety stuff. But now I'm taking medicine. I feel a lot better. I feel much more like myself. Go get yourself checked out, y'all. Like it's especially the older you get, like it's good to know. Even if there's something wrong with you, it's good to know so that you can take the steps to prevent it. So there's just a dose of reality for you. Sorry, I know this is supposed to be fun, but the older you get, the more important it is for you to know what's going on so that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. That's what I'm doing. Things are good. Things are moving up for me. We've got our AMEA conference tomorrow or Thursday, Friday, assuming
Which is
our Alabama Music Educators Association conference. I'm doing a masterclass, actually, a conducting masterclass. No, right? They chose me. Can you believe
You're
it?
a master.
No.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Someone's got to do the soundboard.
The DCA, the director of choral activities in Memphis, University of Memphis, I think it is. He's coming over to the Von Braun Center in Huntsville, and we're going to do a masterclass. I'm conducting Morton Lauritsen's "Sure on the Shining Night" with the choir, and he's going to tell me why I'm bad at it. So,
okay,
cool,
good.
I'm excited for you.
Yes,
Yes,
be lots of fun. That's pretty much it. Just hanging out, getting my bearings back together, and hopefully diving back into some music.
Cool. Well, so the only nerdy thing I think that's coming to mind for me that I have done since I saw you guys, I was playing Alan Wake 2. It won a lot of awards at the recent Game Award things. It's kind of a scary game, which I knew that going in because I played the first one, but it is amazing. I highly recommend if you can stomach the horror games. But it's so freaking creepy. I've played horror games. They're not really my thing, but I've played them, and I've played some scary ones, and I can get through them. But with Alan Wake 2, it's so creepy. I'm having to actually turn it off because it gets so freaked out. I have to walk away.
It
gets fantastic.
See, that is not a selling point for me. I was contemplating it because you're it's so good, and now I'm nope.
It's so good. It's so good. The story by itself is you can play it in story mode. So
right.
It takes all the combat and stuff away. So it just focuses on the story.
Yeah,
but it's so good.
So
the atmosphere,
it's scary enough that it keeps you awake.
Christian, ask your question again. You asked a very good question.
But what makes it good, Corey?
I'm sorry, what?
What makes it good?
The story. So you can switch between which character you're playing as, and actually you get a different part of the story depending on who you're playing as.
Oh.
So you can play as an FBI agent that's investigating these serial killings, or you can play as Alan Wake, who is this horror writer, and the whole gist is that what he's writing comes to life, and since he's a horror writer, he's turning the real world into this scary place, and so the FBI agent gets drawn into it. And slight spoilers, but it's kind of the synopsis of the game is that the world is kind of bringing her life into it to where she's not sure what's real and what's not. And so it's a whole thing. It's just the story by itself. The narrative by itself is amazing. And it's beautiful. Huh?
Why doesn't the investigator just stop Alan Wake?
Well, because the darkness is stopping her. It's a whole thing. So the thing to know about this game is that it's by Remedy, which is a well-known studio for games like Max Payne and Control and Quantum Break. And they're always just a little bit weird with their storytelling. And that's very evident with this game. But I highly recommend. Full of twists, full of turns,
cool,
full of stuff that will make you have nightmares. It's fine. It's good.
Speaking of twists and turns and nightmares, last night I watched Saltburn.
Yes.
I don't think I can talk about it on the podcast, but
okay.
I've heard it is not child appropriate.
Not at all.
Is it good?
It's barely me appropriate.
Yeah. I've heard it's pretty raunchy. It is a black comedy psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it good?
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. But check it out.
Yeah, generally positive reviews from critics, several accolades. Cool. Yeah, I've been hearing about that one.
What is it on? Netflix?
What did I watch it on?
Amazon Prime.
Okay. Gotcha.
It has become one of the most streamed films. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, just when you watch it, just watch it. Let me know how you feel.
Okay. Can we? What does Jason do?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, Jason.
Oh, because I kept asking if it was good.
Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I was saying it was, positively reviewed and stuff. Yeah,
Well,
I was
yeah.
answering your question.
Oh, I was asking Christian, and he just kept talking.
Yeah, I know.
I just
That's
didn't know. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was
Yes,
like,
it's good.
it's like, what? Hello, can you hear me? I would like to speak to you about the movie. Yes.
So, before we get into the news, I want to go ahead and talk about the Golden Globe stuff because I know that's like a couple of weeks old at this point. But Nick, you wanted to talk about some Golden Globe winners for a few different reasons. So, why?
Yeah. So I think it's just as some of the bigger awards. You had the for best motion picture. Oppenheimer won, it beating out Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, and The Zone of Interest. I did see Maestro over the break, which was the story of Leonard Bernstein, who American composer, like kind of who's considered after Aaron Copland, kind of the American composer.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It was a little long and it was a little Bradley Cooper was incredible though. My understanding is that he'd been wanting to do this movie for a very long time, but COVID kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was incredible. But Oppenheimer probably of all of those deserved the win, I would say. One of the categories that I thought was really, really cool, and I think is one that's probably going to be a fan favorite, and possibly one that moves into other award shows, is the cinematic and box office achievement category.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of nominees in this one, but you had Taylor Swift, the Eras tour, which, regardless of if it was a good movie or not, was a box office smash. The Super Mario Brothers movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which was incredible. Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, John Wick Chapter 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Barbie. And Barbie, of course, was the one that won. But Margot Robbie, is it Robbie or Robbie?
Robbie.
My bad. She, in her acceptance speech, thanked the Golden Globes for including this because it really is kind of a way for the fans of film, of movie, regardless of what the genre is, to kind of have a say and say, hey, we understand that you guys liked Oppenheimer the most, but Barbie, was just as incredible of a movie, for the fans, so that it's not just kind of this elitist kind of tilt on it.
Yeah, that's a big criticism that Oscars and Golden Globes and stuff have been getting these past few years, is that a lot of the films that are winning are not very well known as far as general audience moviegoers are. Like, it's always like these artsy films that not a lot of people go see, right. And so it's all these awards are going to movies that not all of us have heard about until they actually go and watch the awards show. So this is kind of like their easy answer to actually give some awards to movies that obviously people really do care about, but maybe aren't, the best movie of the year. Right. So yeah, I think this is a great, at least a good step forward into actually recognizing some of the more box office movies. If this would have been great 10 years ago when the MCU was, destroying the box office, but it never got any awards for it.
Right. And that's kind of one thing that I wanted to say as well, because you look here, it says a best supporting performance in a motion picture. You've got Robert Downey Jr. won for Louis Strauss and Oppenheimer. Yeah. But he has said, I think it was an interview that was very recent.
Last week.
Playing Tony Stark was his favorite role, and he's what was it? I believe it was the end of Infinity War. Infinity War was some of his, as he said, some of his best work, he said was his best work at the end of Infinity War, and none of that was ever even recognized for he wasn't recognized in that for his acting. We know he's a tremendous actor, but I just thought this gives them an opportunity to be celebrated by the elite in Hollywood, not just by us and our dollars, but to get recognized like that. I think that's really cool. And then the last one is the brand new other category was best stand-up on television, which I think is cool. Stand-up is hit and miss. Stand-up is very subjective to me because what I find is funny might not be funny to other people. So but I do think that it's nice that they're getting that comedians are getting recognized. But I think that it's worth talking about that. That those things were added and were actually those people were recognized with a major awards show.
Didn't Ricky Gervais win that category? Wasn't he the host of the Golden Globes?
He was. He 2-time host, and they banned him because he took jokes way too far. It was making fun of people to their faces in the room.
It wasn't even jokes. It was just just opening up, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Any other takeaways from the Golden Globes?
So, I think their statue's weird. They need a better statue.
What?
And then the one with the holding up the thing.
Yeah, it's like skinny, and there's the ball on the globe on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just looks weird.
It kind of looks like a chunky lightsaber with the ball on top.
A chunky lightsaber? What? Hold on, I'm going to look this up.
You've never seen the Golden Globe Award? It's weird looking. I don't like it. I've never liked it. It looks very, very strange.
Yeah, it does. It does look strange.
That is not what I was picturing.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. The Emmys look beautiful. Oscars look beautiful. Tonys are really cool. Tonys are a little weird. They're kind of like the Golden Globes too. Tonys are cool. The Grammys are perfect, right? Like you see a Grammy, oh, that's a Grammy. The Golden Globe is like you have to get close. Like what is that? It's Golden Globes are weird.
Yeah, it does look like a chunky lightsaber.
Weird representation of the Daily Planet.
You're right. All right. Well, all of that said, gentlemen,
sir,
do you want to get into the nerdy news?
I forgot about the nerdy news. It's great.
Hit it.
All right, so we have several stories that we want to cover for you guys in this episode, but we're going to kick things off specifically with a little recap from the highlights of this year's Consumer Electronics Show, also known as just CES. So this is an annual trade show that is organized by the Consumer Technology Association. It's held every January at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and the event typically hosts presentations of new products and technologies in the consumer electronics industry. So typically you'll get all of the brand new like TVs and appliances and computers and concept cars and gaming peripherals, pretty much just any tech thing will show up at this convention. Typically, you'll get things that are coming out this year, but also like concept things that are maybe still years and years and years away. So we covered this show last year, and a lot of it was like robotic based and, computers taking over the world and stuff like that. But this year, a big focus was on AI. Surprise! So not a lot of big takeaways from this year, but I did note about 7 or 8 products that I want to talk with you guys about. And the first one is a CPR dummy that can piss blood. Yes, this is, yeah. So I'm going to read this straight from Engadget.com. And they say, on the fringes of each and every CES, there are products worthy of attention, even if they can't be called consumer electronics. A prime example is AdamX, a medical training tool that takes the ideas of CPR dummies and dials it up to 11,000. Unlike the dolls you learned basic CPR with, AdamX is a fully featured robotic patient used for a wide variety of medical training. So AdamX is equipped with a realistic skeleton, muscles, and lungs that'll behave much like the real things do. Depending on the scenario, the dummy will give you physical feedback depending on how successful you are treating it. For instance, the pupils will dilate, cheeks will flush, the tongue will swell, and the extremities will turn blue, depending on what you're doing at the time. Right now, Adam is even able to make some vague noises, but his makers pledge that an update at some point this year will add in a GPT-enabled communication feature to train medics how to keep patients engaged and calm. So I'm going to stop right there.
Wow.
And the price tag on that is $70,000.
I love how you looked this up.
Wow.
$70,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it just pisses blood.
Yeah,
can I say that?
That was
can
just
I say
that?
We have to bleep that the P word.
No, that's fine.
But, it sounds fascinating. It actually, you could see this being extremely helpful for simulating response by EMTs,
Sure.
fire department, police. It definitely is. It's definitely in the beta stages, though, especially with that cost.
Yeah. Reading a couple other things about it. As well as CPR training, you can use this device to teach intubation, administering an IV, applying a blood pressure cuff, and using a defibrillate. Oh my God,
Defibrillator.
You got it.
Thank you. And much as the system itself will respond to what you're doing, its suite of sensors can examine your technique and offer feedback. For instance, AdamX was set into CPR mode and required me to keep it alive. But I wasn't sure I was getting my chest compressions correct. After all, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. But looking at the laptop Adam was connected to, I could see how far my hands were away from the ideal position. So lots of stuff they can do, but it can teach you how to cut the trachea, to clear the airway. It will actually spurt artificial blood if you do something incorrect. It will simulate pressurized lung collapses, a whole bunch of stuff. So it's basically a human that you can poke and prod and not kill.
It's really fascinating.
In parentheses here, Adam even has working genitalia and can pass urine or blood depending on the training scenario. Yep.
I get it.
That last part does seem a little extreme. I don't know why that would be needed in an emergency. Well, I guess maybe it's not just for emergency. It's for training for doctors and nurses too.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's for the cost. Like you might get one, and that'd be like your funding for the year.
Sure.
Well, but I mean, like, think about these big colleges, like at University of Kentucky, where they have this massive. I mean, their hospital, the hospital for University of Kentucky, is the hospital in Lexington. So like they have funding, like they can afford to get a couple of these bad boys, and you've got your training. I mean, that could be an entire class, right? Like that could be the thing that you use for the entire semester, for the entire year.
Sure.
There's so many uses for this thing. I think it's a good idea. Maybe it's a little far with the
pissing blood
working genitalia part. But it is what it is, I guess. But at least if you happen upon that in real life where someone does do that, you'll be prepared because it happened before.
Sure.
Yes.
But I'm assuming that they would know that they wouldn't give them feedback if they were doing it wrong.
True.
True. That is incorrect.
Not right there.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Just.
All right. So for this next
really
product,
cool.
and we're just jumping around industries here. So that was like a health thing. Now let's jump over into a parenting thing. And for our YouTube watchers, I'm actually going to be sharing this with the gentleman here. So hopefully it makes the final cut when I'm actually editing this all together, because the visual goes a long way. So it is a co-pilot for parents. This is the Rosa Smart Stroller. So it's a super smart stroller that can rock a baby to sleep by itself. The Rosa Stroller features a 500-watt powertrain motor to assist pushing little ones uphill on long walks and to help brake during downhill portions. It can also autonomously. Thank you. Follow along during walks or stay a pace ahead. A camera in the handlebar authorizes who can use the stroller, and it can play white noise or read stories as well. The whole system includes a bassinet and car seat, which helps cushion its $2,400 price tag. So as you can see here in the video,
that's a fake baby.
Well, that's why you would need it too.
So in the video, like she's not touching the stroller, but it's actually walking along with her. There's actually some other videos here that I'm going to scroll down and show you. There's this one right here where the stroller is actually rocking the baby while the mom is just drinking some coffee or something. Would you put your child in this?
If you don't get up off that couch and hold your dadgum baby, what are we doing? So I thought that there's your cold open there, Corey. I thought it was going to be way more expensive than it is.
Yeah, it's not bad.
$2,400. I mean, baby stuff is expensive. Like it just is. Don't ask me how I know, but I figured that this would be more expensive. But there's no way. So I think it's cool that they have the camera thing and they can that authorizes who can use it and stuff. I think that's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rocking thing is kind of cool. It can have its uses, but like when you're at home, like hold your baby. Like what are we doing? Like I can understand in the airport, maybe read a story or play some white noise so it doesn't get overstimulated. Whatever, cool. Hold your baby at home.
It just reminds me of Megan, the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole thing was to have actual human interaction rather than a robot. And like I could see where it could be useful as far as like walking and you have things in your hands and this and that. The guy just let go. That's wild.
Heartbreaking. Wow.
That's wild. But yeah, like Nick was saying, like,
where's the mom? Oh my God, where's the mom?
You're on
that's not the right video to show. That's
Jesus.
Yeah,
that's a stolen baby.
Right.
Jeez, man, come on.
I guess part of it. I mean, I kind of see like where it could be useful. Like it kind of replaces. It's kind of an all-in-one type thing. So not only is it a stroller and a car seat and a carrier, but now it's also a rocker, and it's it also helps with some hands-free stuff. So it can actually like remove the costs of like 4 different things and combine it into one. So if you're worried about a price tag, and like Nick was saying, these things are very expensive separately. That I don't know if that's not like a picture that like makes it's like this person just doesn't even know how to do things at once. Anyway, but at the same time, it's like they're wanting to show it rocking the baby, but there are cheaper other alternatives to rock your baby that you just wind it up and it'll rock for 15, 20 minutes, and then you just wind it up again. So I mean, I don't know. It seems a little excessive.
Like, what are you doing with your hands that you can't push your child outside?
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't justify spending this much money on that kind of thing. That's silly to me.
Now help pulling it up and down a hill. That's really good.
That's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then again,
is that worth $2,400 to you, Jason?
What?
Is that worth $2,400 so that you will huff and puff a little less going up the hill with your child?
No.
Okay.
Now, this is all, of course, coming from somebody who's never had to worry about a baby anything before. So,
true.
So my points are probably moot.
I will say, I mean, all of these products that we're actually talking about here, they're all helpful in different ways, but I just like making fun of them because they're ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. It's just that's just silly to me.
They're overachievers. They're overachievers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so this do what?
I'll just hold my baby. It's fine.
Yeah.
We can move on. I'm done.
So this next product, the Aroma Shooter Wearable, blasts scents while you watch videos. Yet again, still reading from Engadget.com. One of the missing pieces of puzzle for VR is scent. But at CES 2024 in Las Vegas, Japanese startup Aroma Join showed off a wearable that may be up to the task. Simply dubbed Aroma Shooter Wearable, this neckband houses 6 replaceable scent cartridges and is controlled by a mobile device or PC over Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or USB. This product is still in its early days, but you can pick up a library of hundreds of scents or even custom scents from, say, fragrance brands to suit their needs. So basically, you can watch different videos and it will spray scents to help you live that video out loud. I don't know. I don't know.
I never once think about scent.
Get this off my screen. Move on. This is no. What are we doing?
You can also adjust the intensity of each scent. Yes, it's exactly smell-o-vision. Yes.
Jason, how much is it? How much is it? I need to know.
It is $350.
Right.
With each scent cartridge likely to cost around $30.
Bro.
Each cartridge should last for around 3,000 shots, or up to 3 months. Though it depends on the intensity and the nature of each mixture.
See, the companies are putting together the different facets of creating a completely virtual reality, but it's not coming together yet.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But like, yeah. I mean, honestly, until you get a holodeck, I'm really not going to be impressed.
Well,
I mean,
funny you should say it.
funny, really?
So this next product, it might be the next step towards that, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So we have LG giving us the first wireless transparent OLED TV. It's 77 inches, and it's actually see-through depending on what you're watching. So yet again, reading from Engadget, LG typically shows off a host of new TVs at CES each year, but they're usually more traditional flat screens. This year in Las Vegas, the company is debuting something quite different in addition to M and G series updates. The OLED T is what the company calls the first wireless transparent OLED TV with 4K resolution and LG's wireless transmission tech for audio and video. The unit also features a contrast screen that rolls down into a box at its base that you can raise or lower with the press of a button. So, lots of stuff you can say about this one, but it's actually see-through. So, once you're watching it, you can actually see through to the wall behind it. So it's great for screensavers and stuff. But yeah, actually transparent.
Yeah, there's nothing about cost on that. I can see that being pretty costly right now.
But here's another image of it. So you have it in this bedroom, but you can actually see through it to the wall behind it.
Interesting. It's pretty cool.
One of those things where it's just we did it because.
Mm-hmm.
I
might buy it.
Be nice, but definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat, but I'm more interested in those TVs that you can roll up and carry with you. That to me, that's more useful to me. So the more flexible that TVs can get and screens that you could watch, that would be interesting to me. But the see-through stuff, I mean, we already started seeing that on on mirrors in the bathrooms, displays on mirrors in bathrooms that you could, or throughout your house. It's just basically transferring the same diodes or LEDs that are getting they're getting activated, and it does, and the type of glass that you use is what makes it transparent or not.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So this next product, we only got a couple more. You can one day use your tongue as a mouse for your laptop, tablet, or phone, thanks to a new product that made its first public appearance at CES 2024. The Mouthpad. Get it? Mouthpad?
Mouthpad.
Yeah, that's the king from Spain who had to say Ibiza.
Yeah.
The name of this one.
Jesus.
The Mouthpad is what its makers call a tongue-operated touchpad that sits at the roof of your mouth and can be connected to your devices just like a standard Bluetooth mouse. The writer of this article at Engadget says he got to see the Mouthpad here in Las Vegas, where it's making its first public appearance since its announcement last year. He watched the co-founder use the device to navigate an iPhone and open the camera as we took a selfie together, completely hands-free. The Mouthpad is basically a retainer with a touchpad, battery, and Bluetooth radio built in, which means, yes, you're literally putting a battery inside of your mouth. So it's made of resin that the company says is the same dental-grade material that is commonly used in dental aligners, bite guards, and other oral appliances. The device's battery was made by a company called Varta, which Mouthpad's makers also said has a long track record of producing safe medical implant-grade batteries. So this writer says he watched the CEO of this company place the 7.5 gram mouthpiece right on his palate, where it sat surrounded by his upper teeth. He closed his mouth, and the iPhone he held up showed a cursor moving around as he opened apps and menus. I asked him to open the camera up, and he obliged, and we took a selfie. This was evidently not a pre-recorded demo paired with the good acting. So I'm going to share the screen yet again to show you what it looks like. So this is the mouthpiece itself, and this is a picture of someone wearing it.
So you have to get that fitted to your teeth?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
I definitely see this as an accessibility device.
Sure,
100%.
of course.
Yeah.
Like this is actually a really good thing.
Mhm.
Yes.
So yeah, because initially it sounded a little silly, and then as you're describing what it could do, I'm like, this is actually really important.
Sure.
Right.
Because people who can't use their hands and arms are already using their mouth to to communicate with computers and whatever else. So this is a really big step.
And it's good that it doesn't. It seems like it doesn't affect your speech either. So like if you're able to talk, then you can still use this and be able to speak as well. I mean,
yeah, the writer said there was like a slight lisp when he was watching the demo, but for the most part, no voice impairment.
Right. Good. I think that's cool. How much is it, Jason?
It didn't have a cost.
There's no price. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is like, as you see in that last picture, like the battery being a part of your smile. The fact that it's like sticking out of the side. Just like resting against your cheek, and that just seems concerning. But
yeah, it seems bulky.
With, like, long use,
Yeah. Again, we're not the target audience, but yeah. One more that I want to talk with you guys about. So, yet again, reading from Engadget. It wouldn't be CES without Samsung showing off a strange and strangely lovable robot, and this year is the same. At its CES 2024 press conference today, the company showed off a robot named Ballie that has a projector built in. Interestingly, though, according to a report from the Washington Post, Samsung said the robotic sphere will actually be available for sale within this year. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Ballie appears to have grown up since it was first debuted 4 years ago. It's now a bowling ball size, according to the Post, and has a spatial LiDAR sensor and 1080p projector. The latter has two senses and allows the robot to display movies, video calls, and greetings on its surrounding surfaces. In a video shown off during the keynote, Bollie greets a user who returns to their home by projecting the word welcome, as well as displaying a conference call, workout video, and the contents of a nearby PC, like a secondary screen. In the adorable scene, it also shows the robot projecting a video of greenery on the floor for a golden retriever set across from it. So I'm actually going to show this here.
Okay.
And you guys can discuss as this plays in the background. So this is Ball. There it is. There's Ballie. This cute little ball.
That's a yellow.
I don't know. But as it's showing here in this video, it can actually like communicate with you while you're not home, and it actually can tell you, like, give you little updates about what your dog is doing, can project stuff for the dog to actually interact with. So it's keeping an eye on your home when you're not there.
This feels like which Back to the Future is that? The second one?
Yeah.
Where when Marty came home and right before he got fired, he came home and his house was like, "Welcome home, Mr. Marty," or whatever, and it did a whole bunch of stuff for him. This is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
I think that this could also be very useful for an elderly family. This is very, very neat. It looks like it replaces a lot of stuff too. Like you won't have to. Oh, I would love to have a TV on my ceiling. Oh my god. This seems very, very cool. I would, after being successful for some years, I would definitely spend money on this.
I don't think the price was mentioned, unfortunately.
No, they're even calling it a companion. They're definitely trying to market it as something that you would become attached to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can talk to you. How cool is that?
Ballie.
I'm sure like the first thing most people would probably think about is security.
Yeah.
Like how well
is that? It being a security risk or it being security?
Security risk.
Oh, interesting.
Because, Sony TVs come with a camera you can put on top of your phone. and it's not necessarily connected to the internet.
Mhm.
You can do video calls through the TV, but it's mostly used for like motion gestures and power saving. So like if you leave the room, the camera notices and it dims the TV, or you can use your hand as a remote. But with this, it seems like kind of like Simply Safe or anything other security cameras that you can look at on your phone. Obviously, there's ways to get into those cameras, and this seems to have a lot of risks to have to deal with.
True. I mean, anything technology can be hacked.
Yeah.
And
I don't think there anything. What do you think would be a new risk for this? Because we already have like government agencies issuing warnings about like Samsung TVs, or like, don't say anything sensitive around them because they are listening and picking up information. Our phones are clearly picking up that information. Facebook's listening to that. All of our data is being collected because we've got all these listening devices around us, essentially. So what do you see as like a new issue that you could see with this?
It's nothing new, but like as in making like a cool product like that, then like how is that company dealing with those kind of things?
I don't know. I feel like the new thing with this one is that it can actually move around your house. So if someone can get control of that, they can actually go across your entire house, get videos of it. They can survey your house without even being there if they somehow got control of that device.
Wasn't there a robot vacuum that had that problem?
Yes.
Seriously.
I don't know. I don't keep up with vacuums. Are you looking it up?
I am.
While he's doing that. So that's all the stuff I had. I mean, there's a couple that I just skipped over for time's sake. But yeah, those were the big ones. Jason?
Yes, they do. These robot vacuums have built-in cameras. So yes. So they kind of doubles as a security camera that can roam your home. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't
want
yeah. There you
I don't. You talked me out of it, Jason.
Well, I mean, it's a cool idea, but anytime that you bring one of these devices into your home, you have to be like, what are we giving up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is true. All right, so that is our CES wrap up. Yet again, not as eventful as last year's CES, but still some cool stuff going on. Let's hop on over to our next story that I want to talk about. So we were very excited about this when it was announced last year that NASA was actually finally returning to the moon. We had very loose plans to actually go and watch this Artemis launch in person. We were very excited about that. We had ideas to actually record this podcast on location while this rocket's literally shooting up into the sky. But unfortunately, NASA astronauts won't step foot on the moon until September 2026 at the earliest.
Boo.
U.S. astronauts won't set foot on the lunar surface until September 2026 at the earliest, following the announcement of multiple delays to NASA's Artemis moon program, stemming from concerns relating to astronaut safety and the need for further development of key technologies. So NASA had initially planned to launch its first crewed mission to orbit the moon in Artemis 2 in late 2024, with the more ambitious Artemis 3 effort to land astronauts on the lunar surface following shortly after in 2025. However, the unexpected damage to the Artemis 1 Orion spacecraft's heat shield and technical faults in the design of hardware for the Artemis 2 mission have forced a rethink for NASA's historic launch schedule. So in a press event detailing the technical issues, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson announced the launch date for its crewed Artemis 2 mission would slip to September 2025, while Artemis 3's bid for the lunar surface would take place no earlier than September 2026. The planned Artemis 4 mission, meanwhile, remains on track for its September 2028 launch.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
it's just a really big delay. Like, this is not like we got to like push this back a month or two. No, it's like a 2-year delay.
So I think what they're having to take into consideration is that, we're having a it's a presidential election this year. There could be a lot of policy changes. There could be a lot of changes to budgets. And they're probably building that into their schedule because they probably need to wait for the dust to settle after all that.
You think so?
I mean, that sounds logical.
Politics play a huge role in what gets funded, and NASA is always, to kind of, it's like oh, we love NASA, like our NASA's our United States Space Agency, but it's a lot of people don't like to fund it, so.
Yeah, it seems like reading further, one of the major reasons cited for the delay stems from damage from Orion's heat shield sustained during the Artemis 1 mission. They say following splashdown, it was found that the heat shield had degraded in an unexpected way, resulting in the loss of charred pieces of the protective layer. A failure of the heat shield could be catastrophic to the health of the spacecraft and its crew. And so NASA is methodically reviewing data from sensors in order to definitively identify the cause of the phenomenon.
Yeah, and that's what happened with the Columbia, though. That it lost pieces of the heat shield, and yeah. So that's definitely a mistake that nobody wants to make again.
This is true. But I wanted to go watch a spaceship.
And nowadays, where you have, you have these internet experts, these astrophysicists online, who and rocket scientists. That's what I'm looking for, not astrophysicists.
Gotcha.
But you have these rocket scientists online who we shouldn't be spending our money on X, Y, and Z. Well, there's important stuff up there that we need to figure out, because that's where we live. We need to figure out what we're living in, and because what we don't know what kind of technologies can come from the things that are developed, which it has been. The things that we love nowadays came from developments by NASA. So why we should definitely continue to fund those things and definitely continue to move those things forward. But it would be cool to see a lunar landing in our lifetime. That would be really
right.
Neat.
Yeah. And also to your point, Nick, there's the technology that can and the science that can come out of it, but also I'm a big believer in the fact that as a species we kind of have this innate need to explore beyond our boundaries.
Expand,
and right now we've got the Earth pretty much covered for the most part. Like we've got, so basically all that's left is the ocean and space, and we're going to stagnate if we just allow ourselves to just kind of stay on land. So,
I mean, James Cameron's got the ocean covered, so someone's got to get space. Tom Cruise, he's getting space.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to space to film his next movie.
Top Gun, the space race. I don't know.
Which Top Gun 3 is happening. Just throwing that in there.
It is, yes.
Yeah, no. I was actually very looking forward to going and actually watching a shuttle launch or spaceship launch. But
yeah,
fine. I guess I can wait.
I mean, it's 2 years. You could say it's 2 years away, but it's also only 2 years, and it'll be here before we know it. So there's that too.
This is true.
Hopefully.
If we all make it that long.
All right, 2 more things I want to talk about. So let's hop on over into some Disney stuff. So Marvel's Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, and the entire Defenders saga, which was all the stuff that was on Netflix, has been added to the official MCU timeline on Disney Plus, essentially extending the canon by 161 hours. So spotted by Can We Get Some Toast on Twitter /X, all of the Marvel Netflix shows, which released adjacent to the MCU but have always been questioned when it comes to what's technically considered canon, have for the first time been listed as a part of the official MCU timeline. So these Netflix shows include Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, and The Punisher, and in total add around 161 hours of content to the MCU. So this is interesting because these shows were always kind of considered separate from the MCU. Like they loosely referenced the MCU, but how are we feeling about this? Like if it's actually like essentially confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to get some of our best known heroes in like the Jessica Jones world or Luke Cage, especially like Luke Cage. He just looks like a dude. Like he just normally is just a dude, just in I think it's like Harlem, Brooklyn, but he's like super strong. It'll be a really interesting dynamic, especially getting into like Jessica Jones. Not even like Daredevil, but Jessica Jones. Like her series was dark, gritty, and really like that detective work that she did was interesting.
True, this is true. But
well, I wonder if Kevin. I guess we talked about earlier. Well, I guess not earlier anymore, but in 2023 about how Kevin Feige just basically kind of pulled all the Daredevil stuff that they were working on because it just wasn't working.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if they're kind of realizing that the MCU might have just gotten too big or too unrelatable, and that they realize that the street level heroes are important to maintaining that connection with the audiences. And so by incorporating them into the MCU as canon, you're kind of like you're becoming intimate again with the audience. And I think
the street level stuff has always been my favorite.
Yeah,
like Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil was
the Hawkeye series.
Right?
I loved the Hawkeye series because it was the street level stuff, which ironically featured Kingpin from the Daredevil series. But I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think if they start doing more street level stuff, it will actually start to get interesting again because you're not dealing with, the big, universe spanning stories. It can actually like be stories that take place in a single city or something like that. So yeah.
So and speaking of the street level stuff, Christian has finished watching Echo, and I've watched a few episodes of it. And it's all very street level stuff. There's some fantastic elements to it and some supernatural elements to it, but otherwise it's very street level and very real. Christian, how do you think that Echo, because we're going to talk about Echo later, I think, because after we've all finished watching it, but Christian, what are your initial thoughts on how Echo is tying into precisely what Corey's talking about with making everything canon, and how it makes the MCU relatable, if at all, to audience members?
I know we spoke some in our little group chat, especially Britt, that is not with us right now.
Rest in peace.
It's like it's a great look because, especially on the topics of the disabled community that we have in the world, that it's not an overdone thing to where like Marvel's trying to be inclusive and this and that, but it's like it's not even a part of her characteristics of why she's so cool. And the show really like highlights that. Like it makes mention of a lot of those things, but like it never is like something that brings her down or like she has to come up from. She's just a badass, and it's really cool. But mixing all that in, like it's going to be really interesting, especially adding in some characters that we've seen before and how that will mix later on, especially the street level stuff.
So let me ask you this, without getting too spoilery.
Yeah.
So previously, like we knew that Kingpin, he showed up in Hawkeye, Daredevil showed up in Spider-Man No Way Home, and She-Hulk, but everything we got from Kevin Feige and just Marvel in general was saying these are actually different versions of the characters that you're familiar with from the Netflix show. Like they're separate things. When they announced the Daredevil Born Again show, they said it was not going to be a continuation of the Netflix show. Is there any hint in Echo that the characters that show up from Daredevil are the same ones that we have seen from the Netflix show?
I don't know how to answer that without ruining it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have something in mind.
Yeah.
That I don't know if it'll ruin for Jason, but then like at the same time, since I've seen all of it, it won't really ruin anything. if you really think about
it. Go for it.
So Daredevil shows up in this
pretty
show.
early, actually.
Yeah, like first episode, right?
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah,
they have a fight scene, and that's it.
But what's important is the costume.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. What's important is that he is wearing his Netflix Daredevil costume.
Okay.
So it begs the question: are we going to get that kind of Daredevil?
Right. So see, that makes me wonder. Like they announced a creative reboot, like Jason was saying, for the Daredevil Born Again show. They fired a bunch of the writers. They hired a whole new team. They're going to start filming stuff again from scratch. It kind of makes me wonder if that creative reboot is actually to make it more in line with the continuation of the Netflix show, not just a brand new show.
Yeah, because I feel like that would be an excellent way to like regain, I guess, viewership and like fandom is to really let's change
just straight up say it's season 4.
Yeah, like season 4, or like just bring in the gritty.
Yeah.
And like the overall like violence that it had. Like it doesn't have to be over the top, but like especially in the Echo show, like it had some pretty like
it's TVMA.
Like
absolutely
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still very tame in comparison to what Netflix did.
Yeah. It was
it was hitting that line, but it's still pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is that I think, and I've only seen all the way up, I've seen through episode 3, but I think it's also fixing one of my complaints about the Hawkeye series, about Kingpin. And I think they're doing it in an interesting way. So I have to see if that's the case. But anyway, it's very enjoyable. And I think it's one of the most. I was actually crying in the first episode. Yeah. So like I was just don't know why. Still trying to figure that one out, but it was really good. But I was like, this is hitting me in the feels, and I don't know why. Yeah. Say what?
I have some medicine for you.
Well, we'll talk after. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very cool how they're doing the show, because like even in Hawkeye, like she shows up, but she doesn't have much to do. Mm-hmm. She's just like a character that we're introducing, but she's barely a foe.
Okay.
And so how they're treating her in the show, like she has some a specific set of skills.
Yeah.
I have a particular set of skills.
No, but we should definitely come back to this when Brittany's on, because I know she wants to talk about it. It's worth talking about, and that we should definitely dedicate some time to it, to the series.
Good. Heck yeah! All right, so potential for the original Daredevil series and everything to now be canon. It's not been confirmed, but it is on Disney Plus as having been canon. So now let's hop on over to one more story. It is another Disney story. Hopping on over into Star Wars. So, in an announcement that we all saw coming, a brand new Star Wars movie directed by Jon Favreau is on the way, and it is called The Mandalorian and Grogu. The film is set to go into production later this year, and the team shared a first look image at what we can expect. I'll be sharing that in the show notes. The news was revealed by StarWars.com, and it was also confirmed by Jon Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni will all be on board to produce the movie. So this kind of goes back to what we were saying, I believe, after the end of we reviewed the latest season of The Mandalorian on this channel. You can find that playlist on our YouTube channel. And I believe maybe it was me, maybe it was, I don't know, something like, maybe we all just collectively agreed that, it seemed like the Mandalorian played by what's his name? Pedro Pascal. It seemed like he was kind of taking a back seat, and what's her face was taking more of a lead in the show. It's been so long since I watched it.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yes, it seemed like she was taking more of a lead in the show, and so we all kind of wondered, okay, is she becoming the Mandalorian, and we're going to slowly end the original Mandalorian's story? And one of us said, well, maybe they actually use this as an opportunity to go and make a movie to end the Mandalorian's story and continue the show with her as the lead and just end Pedro Pascal's involvement completely. It kind of seems like that's what they're doing now, because they actually are making this movie centered around the Mandalorian and Grogu to potentially wrap up their story. Do you guys agree?
I haven't seen the last little chunk of, I want to say there's 3 seasons, right? So far?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. Yep.
I don't think I've seen season 3 yet. I've seen 1 and the majority of 2. So I wouldn't know what this movie's about. But I'm definitely going to get caught up and watch it for sure. I very much enjoy the show. And it just feels right. Like this, it's a very popular show. They do this sometimes. They being, the people in Hollywood seem to, they can make something very popular on TV, and then they will capitalize on it and make a movie that sucks, or they won't capitalize on it, and then we're just sitting there begging for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that they're doing a movie about this, and particularly one that, about 2 characters that we like for the most part. I just hope that, and Jon Favreau has a pretty good track record of making fans happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this could be a good thing. I would not know because I haven't seen the entire show, but I would know what it's about or what it will be about. But I'll definitely go see it. So that'll be something I'll be going to see for sure.
If it makes you feel any better, Nick, I haven't seen 1 and 2, but I've seen 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We made Christian watch season 3 without watching season 1 and 2.
We wanted him to talk about it now. And but Christian was a good gauge on how it would set with audiences that aren't familiar with the story. So it was really helpful, actually. So yeah.
Especially like knowing the Star Wars lore, like nothing was really out of left field that I couldn't catch on to. So I'm sure there was like little things that probably could have popped up in season 3 of like season 1 and 2, but didn't notice.
I don't know anything about Star Wars other than the Skywalker that storyline. I don't know anything about Star Wars other than that. So this was a completely new, like I had to learn what I know what the show told me, so again, I mean, it would be, that movie would be, I guess, another bit of the information that I would learn about this particular storyline. And I mean, and if it's good enough to where, it closes out, if it does end up closing out that story for the Mandalorian for Pedro Pascal, then I would definitely be interested in continuing to watch with whomever would be the next person if they continue on.
Yeah. Jason, any takeaways?
About what?
You said what?
About this new movie.
I was excited until I saw the title was actually called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, isn't that? It's really straight to the point.
I'm like, that just seems uninspired and unimaginative and not very creative. So I hope it's not telling about the movie.
Maybe it's a working title.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, it's exciting. I mean, it's Mandalorian. We all loved it. So I'm definitely happy to see a movie come out about it. That's great.
So it does say in the same press release that the Star Wars team shared that the Mandalorian and Grogu will, quote, lead Lucasfilm's ongoing future development slate, including films helmed by all these previously announced actors such as James Mangold, Dave Filoni, etc. Which makes it sound like this will actually be the next Star Wars movie to hit theaters before all of these previously announced ones, such as the one from that will be starring Daisy Ridley again. So,
which honestly, I'm looking forward to that. I would love to see another Daisy Ridley-led Star Wars movie. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Do we think this is a good step, though, to make this Mandalorian film the next Star Wars film?
How far are we out?
We don't know. It doesn't say. It just says it's starting production this year.
I mean, it's the only one that seems to be holding its popularity. The only segment of Star Wars. So,
I mean, what else? What else is there to talk about from the main story arc?
So it was announced. It was announced a few months ago that James Mangold is taking things further back in time with his film and will focus on the dawning of the Force, while Charmin Obaid Chinoy's movie will star Daisy Ridley's Rey as she builds a new Jedi Order. Okay. There was one more. Dave Filoni is making one. I forget exactly where his fits in the timeline.
His fits right after in this time period of The Mandalorian.
That's right.
So James Mangold, that was Logan.
Yes.
Right? And that was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Unfortunately, he had a miss. But
I
don't think it was a miss.
Did I hate it, Corey? I forgot.
I don't remember. Okay. But no, he directed things
actually
like,
that kind of makes sense because it was such a freaking forgettable movie.
Oh.
Wow.
He did, like you were saying, Logan, Indiana Jones. He also did the Wolverine, 3:10 to Yuma, which was amazing. Walk the Line. So he's had some really good movies.
Yeah, Walk the Line. I actually liked the Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did too.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ford versus Ferrari, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that was an excellent movie.
I heard it was good. I didn't see it. I heard it was good.
So, I mean, yeah. So, Indiana Jones 5 aside.
Yeah. Everybody thought it was Indiana Jones was going to be a sleeper hit. It just ended up being a sleeper.
Like a lot of movies. Like a lot of movies this summer, it was just a sleeper.
So Harrison Ford's old. He needed to go to sleep.
Yeah, it was past his bedtime.
Yeah.
All right. So
where's my milk? No.
That wraps up my agenda for this episode. Any final thoughts, guys?
Yeah. I want to talk about something I'm really excited about.
Okay.
Jonathan Frakes is coming to the Huntsville Comic Expo in April.
And
now,
who's
if there's
that?
any of you who don't know who Jonathan Frakes is, he plays Commander William Riker on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Oh, he does.
He does. He also has directed many, many, many Star Trek series episodes. He directed Star Trek First Contact, which is my favorite Next Generation movie. And he is one of my favorite actors of all time. And I am so excited that he's going to be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, his acting, the way that he acts has informed the way that I act on stage. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So like he's influential in that way.
We got to try and interview him.
I am definitely going to try and interview him. Yes. I've been a fan since the early 90s. So yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, we'll be at, as Jason is saying, we'll be at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo this year. The entire team is getting together for this one. We'll be there all weekend, filming you unexpectedly, interviewing random people. No? Unexpectedly? No?
Don't
agree with that? Oh, we will ask your permission, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And we now have enough for 2 teams to be walking around.
Oh.
The white team and the black team. That's what no, are we not?
I mean, we can.
I'm not going to call it that, but
we can do like.
I think we should draw straws.
Oh, okay.
Or what? I feel like all sorts of guilty and wrong and bad at the same time. I feel like I got called out for no reason, but I also feel like I should be called out, and like I'm just.
We can do that and like compare footage.
Say what?
We can do that and compare footage, just to see if interviews are different.
There'll be a competition.
We did a social study today.
We interviewed Trish Stratus, and y'all interviewed Trish Stratus. She gave y'all very different answers.
There needs to be several hashtags in this video, Corey.
Like what? Give me an example, Jason.
We should. What's her Instagram name? Trish Stratus. Trish. What's her name?
Trish Stratus.
Stratus. Who is that? First of all,
I have a Dodge Stratus.
She's a professional wrestler from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My parents felt it was too violent. so I wasn't allowed to watch.
That's fair. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's fair.
Back then, yeah, it was. Bluey.
Yeah, Bluey. The voices of Bluey's parents are going to be there.
I'm
Heck
excited
yeah.
for that.
Some of the actors from Home Improvement will be there. Bunch of
Yeah,
people.
that's right. Yeah, I don't think so, Tim. That guy. Al.
Tim
George
Allen will not
Takei
be
is going
there.
to be there.
Who?
George Takei is going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my.
Richard Karn.
Oh,
That was very good. Johnny Young Bosch. We like him. Black Power Ranger.
Oh yeah, Dean Cain.
Oh yeah, Dean Cain.
Yeah,
He's
Dean
actually going to show
Cain.
up for once.
Right. Well, he missed last year, so.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, and the guy
storming was
that,
pretty bad. Yeah.
that models Miles Morales.
That's right.
Steve's going to be there from Blue's Clues.
That's the one. I forgot. Yes, I will definitely be getting his autograph.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like there's, 7 more that they haven't announced yet?
Savannah?
Yeah, they said there's still more to come.
Wow.
But all of that said, I apologize for this episode. We're not in our studio, so hopefully there's no audio issues or video issues as this comes out. We're all still stuck at home. But thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, we'll be back in the studio soon. We hope to get back to doing weekly episodes and even more as our team gets healthier and the snow goes away. So be on the lookout for more videos. If you're listening on podcasts, make sure you go check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@eatsleepnerd, to see what our faces look like, to see what our bedrooms look like. But
Wow, that's we're inviting you into our bedrooms. It's
Yes.
You and your
Sleep
word
Nerd
related.
after dark.
First of all, Corey, I know for a fact that's not what your bedroom is.
that's not my bedroom.
Yeah.
That's not.
Love the aesthetic though.
That just
Yeah, it's cool. Backlighting.
Jason.
incriminating. That's all. I know for a fact that's not what your bedroom looks like.
Oh, do you?
How does bedroom looks like?
When you get to YouTube, make sure you click those like buttons, click that subscribe button, share us with your friends, leave some comments. Is that too many call to actions? I don't care. Do all those things.
Do the
If you're on
things.
podcast, go leave us a 5-star review.
Right?
Follow our social channels. We'll start updating those more. I don't know.
Yeah, we got off track.
We had a whole meeting.
Yeah, we all just kind of shut down for Christmas. It's fine.
Like, let us have a break. Sheesh.
yeah.
But we missed you all. Glad
we
you're
did.
here watching. Yeah.
We did.
And I missed you guys. Yes.
Yeah, we planned to have a big reunion episode this episode, but it just didn't work out because of the snow and stuff like that. So
The dang weather is just too cold.
all of that said, Jason,
What?
for the first time in 2024, what are 3 things that nerds should be doing before they come back and watch some more of our videos?
Well, besides not beating yourself up over not keeping your New Year's resolutions, because we're all human, and by golly, it's going to happen. It's all right.
Which is funny because we were going to do a New Year resolution video and it just didn't happen.
Right. See? So don't beat yourself up over it. Allow yourself some grace, and then get back on it if you want. And other than just enjoying 2024, and just remember we have an entire year of possibilities ahead of us, make sure that you eat, sleep, and nerd.
Take it easy, people.
Bye.